Budynek Muzeum Historii Żydów Polskich to projekt fińskiego studia architektonicznego, które zwyciężyło w międzynarodowym konkursie ogłoszonym w 2005 roku. Z zewnątrz ten budynek to taka dość spokojna, geometryczna bryła. Po części jest to związane z kształtem pomnika bohaterów getta, który również ma takie kształty, i trochę z otoczeniem dzielnicy mieszkaniowej. Ten budynek oczywiście naszego muzeum musiał jakoś wkomponować się w to otoczenie. Fasada budynku jest obłożona szklanymi panelami, na których hebrajskimi i łacińskimi literami napisano słowo Polin na każdym z paneli. Polin to po hebrajsku Polska, ale to także wspomnienie o pięknej legendzie, skąd Żydzi wzięli się w Polsce. W momencie, kiedy wchodzimy do środka, do muzeum, otwiera się przed nami zupełnie inny świat. Mamy pofalowane wielkie ściany, które tworzą hol, który jest pęknięciem w tej bryle budynku. Interpretujemy to jako odzwierciedlenie takiej głębokiej wyrwy, przerwy, która nastąpiła w historii polskich Żydów, przerwy wywołanej zagładą, i nasze muzeum spina właśnie tę historię, spina przeszłość z teraźniejszością. Nad holem głównym biegnie taki most, który właśnie spina dwie strony muzeum. Tak samo nasze muzeum spina historię z tym, co jest teraz i co nastąpi. Więc muzeum to budynek pełen symboliki. Hol główny z jednej strony wychodzi na pomnik bohaterów getta, mówiąc o przeszłości, mówiąc o wydarzeniach tragicznych, ale strasznie ważnych dla żydowskiej tożsamości. Z drugiej strony hol wychodzi na park, na piękny park, który latem jest miejscem odpoczynku, radości, na który przychodzą ludzie z dziećmi, z psami, więc to jest życie, to jest teraźniejszość. I tego typu elementów w muzeum jest dużo, dużo więcej. Także dla samej przyjemności architektonicznej warto zajrzeć tutaj.
This exhibition and this museum are quite unusual because this project was begun from the inside out. In fact, the first thing to be planned was the exhibition, and the plan for the exhibition was given to the architects as part of their brief. It's very unusual. Usually museums are built, first the building, then the exhibition. This is an exhibition that tells a story of 1,000 years of continuous Jewish presence in Polish lands. And that's extraordinary because that's not a story that you can tell about Jews in England, France, Germany, Austria, parts of Italy, Spain. 1,000 years of continuous Jewish presence. We begin the exhibition very dramatically. We come down a very dramatic set of stairs and into a very beautiful poetic forest, which is a space of historical imagination, where we hear the stories that Jews told themselves about how they came to Poland and why they stayed and how Poland got its name. And from there we move through 7 historical galleries. The largest historical period is in the first gallery, and it's the medieval gallery from the 10th century to 1500. And it's a story of how, from a few travelers, from a few Jewish travelers, Poland became the center of the Ashkenazi world. That by 1500, Jews were living in 100 places, and there were Jewish communities in 50 of them. The next 2 galleries deal with the period of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and with the rise of Jewish civilization in this territory. And when we come to the second half of that period, we look at Jewish life in small, private, noble towns. And these are places where Jews made up 50, 60, 70, even 80% of the population. And they came to be, if you will, Jewish towns, just by virtue of the mass of Jews living in them. And it's here that they developed a very distinctive way of life. And that is beautifully, beautifully expressed in the wooden synagogue that is based on the one that once stood in Gwoździec near Lviv. And we've created something quite extraordinary. I don't think of it as a replica or a reproduction or a facsimile or a copy. I think of it as a new kind of object. And why is it a new kind of object? Because we made it using traditional tools, techniques, and materials. And what we did was to recover the knowledge of how to build it by building it. And so that object has a lot more value than if we had gone to a theater prop maker and said, make us one. We move from there to the 19th century, the period of the partitions, and we explore what happened to Jews in each of the 3 partitions, in each of the 3 empires, Russia, Prussia, and Austria. And then, of course, World War I, the empire's collapse, and we find ourselves in the interwar years, the Second Polish Republic, which some historians have described as a second golden age. And that period ends with the invasion on September 1st, 1939 of the Germans, the invasion into Poland, the beginning of World War II, and there we tell the story of the Holocaust in a very dramatic, I think, and very beautiful way. And we don't end the story there. We continue the story into the post-war years, and we bring it all the way to the present and into the future. And in that gallery and in the post-89 period, it's a story of what we call small numbers. There aren't very many Jews in Poland compared with the pre-war period of 3,300,000, which was one of the largest Jewish populations in the world. But we talk about small numbers, but big Jewish presence in Polish consciousness. And we think of this museum as an expression of exactly that.